Hello again! Just making a after video from the other one. Yeah. I've now got the second monitor up and running, which is quite wonderful. Quite literally, it is up and running. So, yeah. There's the second monitor, there's the first monitor, and the infinite corridor! That's just something I love doing. It's just something stupid I love doing. So, yeah. Let's go over a few things. First of all, the monitor. My mum just gave me a HDMI splitter. Well, not really a splitter, but an additional thing. The Pavilion does have a secondary monitor slot, but it's not active. As in, I need it to be installed. The actual plug is not there. It's only got the outer shell. So if I want to actually have two monitors, normally, I'd have to get it modified. So my mum is lending me, keyword that, lending me a HDMI plug adapter. Took a bit of faffing about, but managed to get the thing working. Along with that, my mum has given me... No, they're not Ferrero Rochers. It's empty. But there's a very good reason I'm happy about this. Bakugan. The fun thing about Ferrero Rocher cases is that these make wonderful Baku storage. Dad's shouting about something. Now the only thing left in that little box are two traps. Can't put traps in these things. Though, does not mean I'm done. My two Skytrus next to each other. For some reason that one won't move. Problem. Oh, come here, Brontes. Brontes, everyone. You're a troublemaker. Oh hey, Foxbat. I genuinely don't know what this one is. So there we go. Yeah. These make lovely Baku storage. Especially if you don't have any actual Baku cases. Which in all honesty I don't, because I'm not going to spend money for a case that stores a certain number of Bakugan when I can just get one of these, which comes with the candy, and afterwards Baku storage. Along with the fact that these ones will allow you to store a deck of cards, both gate and ability, along with your desired Bakugan. The only thing they won't carry are Mobile Assaults and Mechtagon. Or Deckers. Because apparently those are usable now. Apparently. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Because I don't have the rules. But yeah, at some point I will do a collection video. That will also include my 3 new Bakugan. And yes, I say Bakugan in a weird way. I say Bakugan, like Bakamon. But yeah. But yeah. So, what have I been getting up to lately? Aside from tidying, there's the Lego, which, again, no, I'm not showing you, not until you've got it done. I also need to do some sort of photo studio at some point. But yeah. I have been working on the yokai brace very slowly. Just can't do any work on it at the moment. Need to resolder the one wire because it came undone. But yeah. Story-wise, I've been working on a few interesting ones. I've been thinking about doing a Bleach retelling story, but character swap. Yeah. An interesting one that I just find... Something that I want to do is switching Rukia for Sajin Komamura. Adding a few little twists here and there. So, yeah, might try and do that. As I also want to do a self-insert to a degree with DX, so that'll be another one. As also had a silly idea of doing a complete 180 and doing a Power Rangers and Bleach crossover, where Zenaku is Ichigo's Zanpakuto. Ichigo doesn't know that. Zenaku does, but doesn't really want to accept it. Along with the silly idea that orgs won't actually be able to do anything. They will be on the same level as spirits, but it'll be a case of their former orgs, the ones that have been defeated. Therefore, they no longer have the evil taint, but are still creatures of pollution. But spirits still avoid them because they are reminiscent of hollows. Hollows, on the other hand, completely steer clear of them. For the simple fact that orgs are unpredictable. Because as we know, sometimes you'll get a powerful one or you'll get a weak one. Then you get the ones that just go completely bonkers, like Tyrorg. That one was just nuts. Then there's also Motorcycle Org. That one had to be sealed. That one's just stupid. But yeah. Something else I kind of want to try and do is a My Hero Academia story. Not really sure how to go about it. I know DX would definitely be a self-insert. I don't really want to say that his powers would ever be a quirk of any description. Plain and simple. Technically, he would come under the category of quirkless, mainly because he's cybernetic. Plus, he's not from that world. So, under the correct circumstances, he is quirkless. But that doesn't mean he'll be powerless. Because he won't class anything that he does as a quirk. Also, I've already given him a title. The Hated Hero, the Exiled Rider. Just for the skits and giggles, he would be a hated hero. Essentially, the populace would hate him for what he does, even though he just does his job. Which is basically to protect people. Regardless of his actions, he's doing his job. It's in contrast to how individuals such as Endeavour or Mount Lady view everything. Mount Lady is in it for the fame and money, but still prioritizes protecting people. Endeavour, on the other hand, wants the recognition and doesn't really give a rat's ass. Along with the fact he's an abusive father, so DX would definitely have a good go at him for that. Then there's All Might, little bit of a hypocrite. Along with the fact that DX would just call him Nori. Just for the skits and giggles, he'd call him Nori. Don't know why, just because. Other than that, got a High School DxD or two story in the idea. One where mythical creatures are actually machines. Essentially, it would kind of stem from kind of a Horizon Zero Dawn sort of situation. Basically, Issei wouldn't actually be from Kyuho. In fact, he would be from a secluded off town, or well, part of the country, where it's still in the Middle Ages, but there are roads, and there are cars. It's all overgrown, all of the cars are completely destroyed. Basically, it's... think the landscape of Horizon Zero Dawn, but the populace believe that machines are creatures. As in, they actually believe them. Some of the machines actually are. So, cars will turn into dragons, minotaurs, griffins, stuff like that. But a good majority are just machines. So that would be the joke there. Along with the fact that it's just a funny idea that the roar of an engine is just a dragon's roar. That's funny. Plus it stems from an idea of what if GTA was set in the UK and they did a version that was Welsh and a version that was English, and there were two cars to represent the red and white dragons. It just came from a stupid idea like that. So, in this story, Issei would be from another world, say it be, and he has a red sports car and a white sports car that basically take care of him. Well, they'd be dragons, so it makes sense. But that's just a silly little idea I'm working on. Still got to work out the kinks in it. Yes, there are some weird ideas in it, but I kind of want to make it work. Another idea would be... kind of similar to a few of the Naruto crossover stories with a few elements of that. Basically, the story idea where Naruto has a place of business. Essentially, mine would be a self-insert. DX would run a gaming shop, and Issei would be an employee there. Plain and simple. But essentially, it would kind of break the complete rules, and the joke would be Issei is the nephew of pretty much every Pantheon leader there is. Yeah, he is everyone's nephew. That's the joke. Issei is the reason no one fights each other because he's everyone's nephew. Just a silly idea. And another one that I kind of want to actually work on would be... This one would be a ship, because this one I don't actually see people trying to do. I've only ever actually read one story where someone's done this, and even then it just cut off after the second chapter. DX and Drake. Because here's the thing, Drake is one of the first few dragons. They are a mass of energy. By that logic, they aren't defined by a physical gender, it's only their mentality. So, by that ruling, they can be both male and female, or one or the other. So why not? Just a silly idea. Could work. Might not. I'll have a go. Other than that, I want to try and have a go at Pokemon Story. I had a stupid idea of, what if Ash was blind? Basically, from that, he wouldn't be able to fulfill his requisite as Arceus' chosen. So, because of that, what would happen? Because, from what we understand, a chosen can only be a chosen as long as they're alive. So essentially, Arceus wouldn't be able to choose another one unless Ash were to die. But that would require them to be killed. That's where the interesting part would come in. Basically, Arceus would send legendaries to hunt Ash. So basically, it's a reverse state of gotta catch them all, it's gotta hunt down the chosen one. So, yeah, the legendaries would be reluctant to do so, mainly because they'd be hunting down an innocent child who can't see. So that would be the interesting part. Arceus wouldn't even know this, because, well, they're asleep. So they're just making a conscious decision of, this individual isn't fulfilling their task. So they have to be gotten rid of. Plain and simple. Now, a lot of stories make it so that Ash loses his right as chosen one, but I think it would be an interesting idea if he was hunted down to get rid of it. Because it's similar to the Sacred Gear situation in High School DxD. It can be removed. Normally it takes a state of the person dying for that to happen. But yeah, that's that. I'm also working on the idea of a Power Rangers retelling. So essentially it's got elements of Super Sentai, but it is Power Rangers. So it's going to be a retelling of Mighty Morphin, but it's going to be a bit of a weird one because I want the Zords to not be how they looked in the show, but rather based upon the art book. Just for the skits and giggles of that. Because I liked how they looked in the art book. That was intriguing to me, it really was. Along with the fact that the tail actually did something, and the pterodactyl could form a bow. I think it was a pterodactyl, or it was the tail split in half. I'm not quite sure. But it was still a pretty cool design, in all honesty. Yeah, I wouldn't use the one tiger design. No, no, there's already a Sabertooth. Which, no, Sabertooth does not classify as a dinosaur. That is Ice Age and not Cretaceous. Sorry, right now my seat is literally just a cylindrical stool, so kind of hard to actually sit on it, and plus me leaning back, I bump into my bed. So yeah, not the most comfortable. I've got about 1.5 foot on either side of me, so I've just got a 1.5 foot square area. It's a little bit awkward, but manageable. Other than that, I have been doing a bit of 3D modeling. I had a silly idea of gathering up all the 3D models of DX that I've made and just doing one big picture. Can you imagine that? Every version of DX I've built, even the fucked first version I made. Oh shit, that thing would need fixing. That would need fixing. If I found it, because I think I deleted everything to do with it. I don't know. I really don't know. I'll have to go looking for it. I will have to go looking for it. That also means I'll need to get my new version of DX finished. That also means I need to get Daedra finished. Yeah. Also, there's something funny. I uploaded Demonica, who is a third form evolution. The next model is going to be the second form evolution. Then it's going to be the first form evolution. Then it's going to be the new DX model. Because I'm working on DX and Daedra. Daedra is DX's female counterpart, which I think I mentioned a few times. I'm not really sure. It's just... if you've read my High School DxD Ryu... not High School DxD, Assassin's Classroom Ryu story, towards the chapter 15 mark? It's towards the teens mark. DX is literally melted. Literally, he is melted. But essentially comes back as a white-feathered dragoness. So I thought, why not make a 3D model of her? It was a stonking pain in the fucking ass to find 3D models that had compatible parts. And even then, making the parts was a nuisance. Still in the middle of rigging pieces. I am horrible at doing clothing. Literally, DX's coat presently. I'm trying to get the tailbone to work, and I'm trying to get the coat fraying bones to work. It's an absolute nuisance. I've learned a trick or two to work with MMD. You can mirror bones and copy them. The only thing is realigning the buggers. That's an absolute nuisance. Yeah. That's a little bit fun. I've been learning to make things in Blender. Not the easiest thing to do, but I can persevere. I've also learned to texture them, so that's kind of fun. I managed to retexture about 94% of Aquarion, as in the giant 3-jet robot Aquarion, as in the Genesis of Aquarion, Solar Aquarion, Mars, Luna, yeah, that bugger. got a 3D model of the fucker, retextured it. It's just some parts, for some reason, are part of one bit of mesh when they're connected to another texture that I can't apply until I remove that bit of mesh from that model and make it textured. Kind of a nuisance. It also didn't help that when applying the textures, the mesh didn't line up. The texture was upside down in orientation, but I couldn't turn the texture, I could only turn the mesh. So, yeah. That was fun. That was real fun. So yeah, working on that. I am also working on a Baku Reno. I have an absolute admiration for Baku Reno, colour and design wise. They only appear for 5 seconds in Dino Thunder, but they have an entire movie in Upper Ranger, and that actually pisses me off, that really does. So, along with the fact that there's no 3D model of them, that annoys me. So what I'm going to do is build a 3D model, and I've done half of that. I've made Baku Reno's head. I'm kind of in the middle of working on Chasma Sheldon's, well, shield. She's a little bit of a pain, I will say. It's drawing the outline that's a bit tricky. Dog's being a butt. Making Naruto's head is going to be the fun part. I might be able to use pre-existing parts, I don't know. I kind of want this to be a complete scratch build.
I wouldn't know either.
You just got caught on camera! Yes, you did. You did.
You right?
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of want the Baku Reno 3D model to be scratch built. You can tell I don't do scripts for this, or have any kind of linear list. These are just impromptu videos. Why would I make some form of script for this? What's the point? Oh well. I'm just trying to think, what do I want to talk about now? Oh. Over on the World Beyblade forums, I do actually have a thread going on. 3D printed Beatamon parts. Now, you're probably wondering, why the fuck would there be a thread for Beatamon on a Beyblade forum? Well, the thing is, it's the closest thing, along with the fact that there already is a bunch of Beatamon threads. Half of them are for toy sales, because apparently people don't like buying the toys. And apparently people regret buying the toys. It's just there is a huge 3D modeling and 3D printing scene for Beyblade, but it's a very minor area for Beat'em, even though you think it would be rather big. Well, to a degree it is in Japan, because, well, there's actually quite a good number of modelers and printers in Japan who do Beat'em parts. Problem is, not so many outside. I have started a thread earlier this year, and with permission of a modeler on Sketchfab, used their 3D models of Beat'em as base templates to work on not only my own custom armor set based upon Helio Breaker, because I absolutely adore this Beat'em, literally. That is beautiful looking. Yes, I know I don't have the visor, and I'm also using the wrong core, and I'm missing a horn, but I don't care. I have Helio Breaker, and I love it. But yeah, I based my own armor set on Helio Breaker by the name of Dyna Dreisetter. You can view the design on the thread. I will provide a link at the bottom of this video. But yeah, it's just... funnily enough, I've actually gotten a bit of attention to the thread. The first few comments are just random dribble by a few people. One person even being snarky and sarcastic about a Beat'em thread on a Beyblade website. Yeah, then one of the moderators decided to say, well, where else would it be? Or at least to keep it on topic. Did get a few people to actually give it a bit of attention, so yeah. I, funnily enough, actually got a message from a newer user saying that they actually admired that I continued to post things even though I got little to no attention to the posts at all. So, yeah, it's actually kind of nice to know that I actually have someone who's paying a bit of attention to it. I sent them back a message saying that I intend to continue doing the thread. I have no intentions of dropping it whatsoever. It's just a case of having time to actually work on 3D models, because I can find bits and pieces of time to work on my own personal stuff, but to work on something that's a community project, it's not something I can just do off the top of my head. Plus, some of the things that I want to start working on 3D model-wise for Beat'em, I don't actually have any templates for. Here's the thing. One thing I really want to do is make cross-compatible parts for Battle Beat'em and Crossfire. Here's the problem. I need a template model. I need something to give me the measurements. Problem is, I don't have any tools or way to get measurements for, well, Beat'em. I can scale the parts for the Battle Beat'em. That's relatively easy. The issue I have is Crossfire. I did try making a Crossfire compatible head that is based upon the Battle Beat'em head. So essentially it would theoretically be able to accept Generation 1 armors, so remake Cobalt Blade with an Accel core. Well, then you'd have Cobalt Saber, which theoretically could do. The only thing is, having an adapter for the feet and having an adapter for the arms, that's where I have a problem. Because, well, the only individual I know that has a 3D model of a Crossfire footpiece that is printable would be a user by the name of LeoToy on YouTube and on Twitter, who, well, they have a 3D model of a footpiece, which looks like tank treads for some reason, but the thing is, they haven't released it. They've linked back to the bottle adapter for the hopper and linked back to the barrels that they have, but they never did anything for the foot adapter. Problem is, them being Japanese, I don't believe that they actually understand any of the comments that they receive from non-Japanese viewers. Or they're an individual who just ignores that kind of thing. It's just that they're the only individual that I know of that even has a 3D model of that. Just if, keyword there, if I had access to that 3D model, I'd be able to make some prototype adapters for the arms and for the feet. Essentially, I'd be able to make a functional set of DHB armor for Crossfire, because another user by the name of 82 created a functional DHB barrel for Crossfire, and it does function. It just uses a pen spring, and it's pretty impressive. It requires 3 hits, like the Blaster's DHB armor set for some stupid reason, but it works. So, theoretically, done correctly, and if I had access, I'd be able to make the armor sets and make it so I can do my Dino Thrisetta. Also, if you know anything about Beedamon, you'll sort of know that Dino Thrisetta, her name, is based upon Dinotryptes, the one unreleased Beedamon that was in, funnily enough, Beedamon ES. Tryptes was a triple emblem charge, it was unreleased, and it was a Triceratops. Gotta love how my favourite one doesn't get bloody made. No prototypes either, so wouldn't even know how it looked or functioned. I could live without the triple emblem charge. In all honesty, I don't particularly care about emblem charge to begin with. It's just the Triceratops. It's the only bloody Triceratops. So, kind of got me a little bit irked there. So that's kind of what inspired me to make my own with Dino Thrisetta. Also, if you're seeing any flashes being reflected in my glasses, that's because for some reason this monitor's just going on and off. I don't know why. I could just switch over to this one, but yeah, this one's directly in front of me. But yeah, on the thread I put up a recent post asking for some suggestions. Because this is a community project, this is not just my own, so if anyone has any ideas or projects they want to actually show, you can do so. Because, well, by sharing the files, other people can have a go at testing what you've made, and they can give ideas of how to improve it. I, for one, can't test my files, so none of the models that I've made are scaled. I don't know if they work. I hope they do, but I have no idea if they will. They're not scaled, so yeah. I don't have a 3D printer and I can't measure them correctly. If I had a set of digital calipers, then yeah, I'd be able to do a bit more accurate measurements. But for any of the stuff I want to do, I need templates. So I either need a 3D model of the bolts, or need a 3D model of the arms or leg. Or heck, give me a 3D model of the freaking core. Then I could actually do something. From there, I'd be able to make a head, be able to make arms, make some legs. Heck, done correctly, I could actually try building a power block or adapter on the back. Make something similar to Break Ogre. Oh, now that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Just make something like Break Ogre. That would be cool. That really would. Yeah. Other than that, meh. I know one thing, the Emblem Charge series wouldn't really be able to use the DHB design, mainly because the internal power block wouldn't work. Unless I made it so you could take the power block off. I don't know. Nah, wouldn't work that way. Yeah. Other than that, just trying to think. Nope. Can't really think of any other 3D models I've been working on. Assignment-wise, in college, my current assignment is to do with, funnily enough, trading cards. Namely, deck boxes. So, yeah. It's going a bit slow. Just problem is, every time I try to actually go and make one of my tutors gets in the way, so a little bit annoyed there. Basically, once I get back into college, it's going to be a case of, just let me get on with my bloody work. So yeah. I've only got until February to do this, and I have to come up with a production model. Not necessarily a final piece, but a prototype that is producible. I kind of want to make them for actual selling, so yeah. But other than that, getting there. Also, new headphones. JVCs. They hurt. They really bloody hurt. Also, for some reason, I do an Irish accent. Or is this Scottish? I'm not intending to, it just happens. Literally, I'm not intending on doing that, it just happens. It's like how some people just revert to, for some reason, doing a Australian accent. I revert to doing either a Scottish or Irish. It just happens. I'm not trying to, it just happens. Yeah. As mentioned in the previous video, I'm working on doing a 4x4. Well, 6x6. Still working on that. Not exactly the easiest project, but getting there. Also trying to sort of this shit out. So, yeah. Also, you may have noticed in the previous video there is a certain abomination behind me. Yeah. Those of you who know about the Energon combiners will definitely think, what the fuck is that abomination? In TJ's Discord group, the Omegadrome, I already posted pictures about that. I told them, don't ask about the abomination. People asked, and I said, I did say don't ask. But yeah, I highly recommend. Don't do that. Literally. Just don't. Don't. You really don't want to. You will damage your Superion. Well, not Superion itself, but the Air Razor molds, the those stealth jets. You will damage those. Along with the fact that it's not a solid connection. It's very loose. It also relies on you having the helicopters actually hold on to their weapons. Mine does not hold on to their weapons. That thing is just held up by balance. The arms are kind of cool. Problem is they rely far too much on the clear energon weapons to actually hold it up. Why it had to have clear parts, I don't know. The bane of Energon. Clear plastic. I get it. Energon's clear. Well, partially. But yeah. A nuisance. Other than that, started working on Garyuga. I did record a video for her, but the footage was shit. And it was a while back before the prototype for the Seacons was fully announced. It was when the grey prototypes were actually there. So, yeah. I might have a go at trying to record some better footage, but it'll be a long shot. A real long shot. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I can really think of. If I could figure out some way to actually connect my Xbox to here and just have it open as a window, I might try to do some screen recording. But I'm not really sure. I do intend on doing some kind of games on here at some point. Might play Ether Vapor or even Zenith, if anyone remembers what those were. Those were fun little games. And if I get anything from Steam, then might have a go on that. Heck, if I got Gmod, oh my word, the shenanigans. Jam? You'll be in my targeting reticle. None of you understand who the fuck Jam is. Good for you. But yeah, that's kind of it. That really is it. So I will leave you off there and just dot about. So peace.